Plato says sophists argue exactly like this. They ink the water so no one can see what's true. And in the middle of the Protagoras, the dialogue itself nearly drowns in that ink. A philosopher and a sophist face each other, the question of virtue between them, and suddenly the water goes black. Here's how the breakdown happens. Socrates is pressing one question. Are the virtues, wisdom, justice, courage, piety, temperance, one thing or many separate things? This is the unity of virtue problem. Protagoras, the master sophist, doesn't want to answer directly, so he splits the world. Some things are good for animals, others for plants, some good for the sick, others for the healthy. The good, he says, is plural, and virtue. Virtue must be plural too. It's an elegant dodge. Replace one hard question with a branching forest of distinctions, and your audience applauds the foliage. Socrates responds with a famous bit of irony. I have a bad memory, he says. Please give short answers. This sounds polite. It isn't. In Plato, knowledge is recollection. What you truly know you can call back to mind. To say, I forgot your speech, is to say your speech carried no knowledge worth recollecting. It was sound, not substance. This is the Squid ink. Long speeches generate applause without comprehension. Verbal distinctions multiply. The audience nods. And nothing has been understood. Dialectic, reasoning by question and answer, needs definite questions and definite answers. Otherwise, no one learns anything. The other sophists try to fix things and embarrass themselves. Protagoras splits hairs over synonyms, the difference between pleasant and agreeable. Hippias proposes a compromise. Let Protagoras speak at medium length, let Socrates ask medium questions, and let the group vote on what's fair. It sounds reasonable. It is a category error. Dialectic isn't a debate format you negotiate. It has internal laws. You don't legislate logic into existence by raising hands. The participants conform to reasoning, not the other way around. You can't put truth to a vote. The conversation stalls. Socrates threatens to leave, and then Alcibiades, young, sharp-tongued, devoted to Socrates, stands up and shames Protagoras directly. Just admit it, he says. Admit you can't match him in argument. Pride does what philosophy could not. Protagoras, stung, agrees to continue. But he won't return to dialectic on Socrates' terms. He has a counter-strategy ready. If short, focused questions corner him, he'll drag the discussion into the most slippery medium available, poetry. Protagoras seizes a poem by Simonides and demands Socrates interpret it. Literary criticism is the perfect refuge. A poem can mean almost anything. Any reading can be defended. The poet isn't there to correct you, so Socrates plays along and parodies the whole enterprise. He offers not one reading, but three. Each is brilliant. Each contradicts the others. The most outrageous, that Simonides was secretly endorsing Spartan philosophy. The Spartans, Socrates argues with a straight face, are actually the most philosophical of all Greeks. They hide their wisdom behind a military reputation. Their famous laconic phrases, concentrated philosophy. The reading is plausible sounding. It is also completely unmoored from anything. The Spartan reading is the joke that exposes the method. Without a definite question disciplining the inquiry, brilliance produces only noise. You can argue anything from a poem. You can argue the opposite from the same poem. Both arguments will sound clever. Neither will be knowledge. This is Plato's verdict on literary culture as a path to wisdom. Poetry doesn't teach virtue. Reasoning teaches virtue, and only when it stays tethered to a real question that can be answered yes or no, this or that, one or many. Socrates drags the conversation back to dialectic, back to the real question. Are the virtues a unity or genuinely separate? And here finally Protagoras gives ground. He concedes a general resemblance among the virtues. Wisdom, justice, piety, temperance. They share something. They look alike. They go together. This isn't full unity. He won't say they won, but it's the closest a pluralist can come without surrendering. Then comes the exception. Courage, Protagoras says, is different. Courage stands apart from the others. He claims to have seen many men who were ignorant, foolish, even wicked, and yet undeniably brave, a courageous fool, a courageous criminal. If those exist, then courage has nothing to do with knowledge or the other virtues. And this exception is exactly what Socrates was waiting for. Watch the trap. Protagoras has built a wall against the unity of virtue. Most of the bricks are mortared with general resemblance, loose enough to defend, tight enough to look like a position, but the courage brick is sticking out. He's gambled that courage is the one virtue clearly independent of knowledge. If Socrates can show the opposite, if he can show that courage actually requires knowledge, that the truly brave person is the one who knows what is and isn't worth fearing, then the loose brick gets pulled out. And once courage falls into the unity, the others follow. The entire pluralist edifice collapses. Protagoras thought he was protecting his weakest point. He has just told Socrates exactly where to push. So here is what the breakdown was really for. The dialogue had to fall apart into long speeches, into voting compromises, into Spartan philosophers and rival readings, so that we could see what dialectic is by seeing what it isn't. Sophistic rhetoric inks the water. Literary criticism multiplies meanings without anchoring them. Procedural compromise mistakes form for substance. Real philosophical reasoning has internal laws, definite questions, and the discipline to follow an argument where it leads. And when Protagoras finally returns to that ground, he hands Socrates a single loose brick, courage. The whole rest of the dialogue will turn on it. Whether the brave fool actually exists, whether courage in the end is simply knowledge under another name.